Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is September 3rd, 2024, and today we're gonna be discussing the long-awaited Joan Laporta press conference where he faced the press and answered questions about all kind of topics, including the club's finances, the Nike deal, and the shocking revelation that Robert Lewandowski offered to reduce his contract in order for the club to register players. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you head to Kit Bag, Goal Kits, or Fanatics. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. All links are down below in the description. Now, begin this video with the news that Joan Laporta faced the press today in a press conference where he addressed all the questions from the press, including topics like the club's financial situation, the one-to-one rule, the Nike deal, Barca Vision, etc. And today I'm gonna be going over all the highlights of that press conference and all the questions that Joan Laporta answered. Now, Joan Laporta started by discussing Barcelona's finances, and this is what the Barcelona president had to say. The club is better economically, sportingly, and socially than it was before we took over. 3 years ago, the club was in a situation of risk and we were out of control. We have worked on recovery and moving forward the Camp Nou, recovering institutional prestige, and strengthening La Masia. The club is now better financially, socially, and sportingly. So Joan Laporta giving kind of a overview of what he has done since he became president, saying that the club now is better financially, sportingly, and socially. And of course, I do agree with this point because even though there's been a lot of things that I disagree with Joan Laporta and there's things that I've criticized him about his work, one thing is for sure is that Joan Laporta and his board of directors have done a good job as far as the financial recovery. They've been able to cut expenses all across the board. They've been able to generate many new sources of revenue, and they have also put forth the investment necessary for the Espai Barca project, and all of that is slowly helping Barcelona recover financially and hopefully pretty soon achieve the one-to-one rule. Now, one thing Joan Laporta was asked about is of course the Nike deal, because we have been hearing about it for quite some time. So people wanted to know what is going on with the Nike deal, why hasn't it been signed yet? And this is what the Barcelona president had to say. The sport equipment contract that we are going to sign will be the best contract in world of football. It is in a very complex negotiation process. Currently, we are focused on Nike. We could have arrived to the one-to-one this summer, but it would have been hasty. We wanted to improve the contract and wait. So Joan Laporta is saying that once the Nike deal is signed, it's going to be the best contract in the history of football, or in the current world of football. And also, this is what's a shocking revelation by Joan Laporta, saying that they could have signed the Nike deal during the summer. They could have reached the one-to-one rule, but they decided not to be hasty and instead, wait longer to continue negotiating the contract. And I guess there is some truth to this, because we have heard in the past reports that Barcelona were trying to get more money out of this deal. That's why it was delayed. We know that Nike were offering Barcelona 90 million euros per season, but Barcelona wanted 150 million euros per season. So that's part of why the negotiations was delayed. But one thing Joan Laporta did not address is the other reports stating that the other reason for the delay of these negotiations was also because Nike got emboldened by the fact that the courts ruled in their favor and said that Barcelona could not sever the contract. So which one is the true version? Is it Laporta? Is it Nike? Maybe it's a little bit of both. We won't know, but Laporta confirming that the negotiations are still ongoing and that the Nike deal is set to be signed eventually. And once it does, it will be the best contract in football. Now, Joan Laporta was also asked about the RAR deal. As you might remember, Barcelona sold part of Barca Vision that belonged to Lewy to RAR. They were hoping to reach the one-to-one rule, but that did not happen. And Joan Laporta was asked about this, and this is what he had to say. There was a partner who had put in 10 million euros, but La Liga discounted it. We didn't reach 25 million because we had to do 30 million. It was a technical reason. I'm happy to have an agreement with Armark that will help us fulfill what we planned in Barca Vision. So to better explain these words, because it's a little bit convoluted, I think it has to do with the way it was translated. But pretty much Joan Laporta was asked about the 25 million euros that Armark put on the table to buy a portion of Barca Vision. And he said that La Liga discounted 10 million out of those 25. So La Liga only counted 50 million out of the 25 that Armark put on the table. He didn't go into more details, but I think that had to do a lot with the reporters present. I didn't think the reporters present at the press conference did a good job. They didn't really press Joan Laporta on a lot of his answers. Like sometimes they asked easy questions. And even when they asked somewhat complex questions, whenever Joan Laporta gave his answer, they didn't really press him on more. They didn't try to get more information. And I think this would have been a good opportunity for the press president to press Joan Laporta more and be like, why did La Liga discount 10 million? What's the reason behind that? It's not enough for you just to tell us, oh, they discounted 10 million. What's the reason? That's what we want to know. Now, Joan Laporta did also discuss Barca Vision and more about the plan with Barca Vision, not so much about the investors. But Joan Laporta detailed that there's a lot of plans with Barca Vision, that there's gonna be, projects to develop virtual reality, augmented reality, and do all these like cool things with Barca Vision, NFTs, etc. as a way to generate more sources of income. And I have to say, I was pretty excited to hear about that because all these new technologies are the future. It is what's the hottest thing right now. My only concern, of course, with this is, will Barcelona be able to develop these technologies? Because it's the same concern I had when Barcelona were considering producing their own kits. And I said, Barcelona are a football club. Their specialty is football. That's what they know. That's what they've been doing. That's what the business that they're in. They're not necessarily in the business of making clothing. That's a whole new specialty. I wasn't sure if Barcelona would be able to do their own kits because they have no knowledge on how to run a clothing business. And I guess my concern with the whole Barca Vision and developing all these new technologies is the same thing. Will Barcelona be able to do this? Because again, Barcelona is not a tech company. They're a football club. So I guess the solution for that will be for Barcelona to partner up with a good tech company in order to do this. I think it's going to be difficult because right now this is an emerging technology. There's a lot of competition in this field and very few talent that can do this job. And most of this talent is being taken up by the big tech companies. So we'll see what Joan Laporta and the board of directors solution will be to this. But nonetheless, it is very exciting to see that Barcelona are willing to take a deep dive into the technology sector, which I think would help Barcelona tremendously in the future. Now, Joan Laporta also spoke about the current season and about Hansi Flick, and this is what the Barcelona president had to say. We have a squad with a much higher market value than we had in 2021. The average age of the squad has been reduced, and the principle of always looking at La Masia for solutions first has been followed. We are very happy with Hansi Flick. He has a winning mentality, and we are very happy and proud of the squad we have now. Now we see that La Masia is the core of our project. We are laying the foundation to meet the objectives that are met. He doesn't look for excuses and makes do with what he has. Speaking of Flick, of course. He is the demanding man. He also asks Deco for many things, but we don't have anything fixed in terms of titles. We will work to achieve it. So Joan Laporta very happy with Hansi Flick, saying that he's someone who's laying the foundation to be able to meet the objectives in the future. Also saying that right now there are no goals for Flick. They're not saying, hey, you have to win this kind of titles. They understand that it's a new project and they're willing to work with him. They're also very happy with the fact that La Masia has once again become the foundation of this team. And finally, of course, Laporta highlighting the fact that our squad is much younger than what it used to be. And despite that, it has a higher market value. With Lamine Yamal, with so many rising stars like Pau Cubarsí, the market value of that squad has gone up while the age has gone down, and with La Masia being the core of this team. Now, Joan Laporta also spoke about, of course, Deco. As we know, those reports emerged that Deco was considering leaving because he thought that his job was very tough with the very limited resources that Barcelona has. Of course, Barcelona immediately released a statement saying that that report was absolutely false. So, of course, Joan Laporta was asked about Deco, and this is what the Barcelona president had to say. We are very happy with the work of Deco and his team. Deco is the reason Hansi Flick is here. Deco has a deep understanding of football that gives us great confidence in him as sporting director. He has done an extraordinary task by renewing the youth players with dynamics of the first team. Pau Prim, Cubarsí, Casado, Bernal, Dominguez, Dani Rodriguez, Alex Valle, Gil, and Tony Fernandez. Deco is the architect of us having Flick as a coach. One of his merits has also been the work he has done on staff configuration with Flick and sports restructuring. The harmony between the first team and grassroots football. He is very comfortable at Barca. In this case, it is the reality. He is comfortable with the team he has, and we are satisfied with what he has done. So Joan Laporta saying that Barcelona very happy with Deco, that Deco is happy with Barcelona, that there is no truth to those reports that Deco was considering leaving, and highlighting one of the good things that Deco has done, because even though there are some things that we could complain about Deco, for example, the signing of Vitor Roque, which I still don't understand what happened there, maybe the failure to sign Nico Williams, etc. But I think he has done a great job with the reserve team and the academy team. I think Deco has done a wonderful job renewing all the young talent that's currently in the academy, including the names that Joan Laporta just mentioned. Also making signings for the academy like Marcos Parriego, like Mamadou Mbake, like David Oduro, Diarra down the road, etc. So I think Deco has done a great job with the academy, with the youngsters, not so much with the first team. But again, he is very limited with the resources that Barcelona have and with the financial fair play. Now, speaking of the financial fair play, Joan Laporta dropped a bombshell revealing that Robert Lewandowski had actually offered to reduce his contract, reduce his salary, and rewrite his contract to allow Barcelona to register players. Now, this is what Laporta had to say about the Polish striker. I see Robert as more motivated than ever. Robert needed this new boost. He's in great physical shape, and I see him very excited. He's a player committed to the club, and I can assure you of that. When he heard that we could make some efforts to achieve fair play, he offered his contract. I'm very grateful to him, but I told him it wasn't necessary. He's very committed to the club, and he's also demanding of the team, of himself and of his teammates. We've gotten a good performance out of him, and I'm sure that this will be Lewandowski's best year. So Joan Laporta revealing that Lewandowski offered to reduce his salary. Well, he said offered his contract, so we can understand that probably offered to reduce his salary, maybe to rewrite his contract, but offered to help the club in order to register players, which is a great gesture by Robert Lewandowski, because he didn't have the obligation to do that. He has a contract. He could have just said, keep paying me what you want. I don't care about your problems. But he didn't. He offered to sacrifice his own salary in order to help Barcelona register players, which Barcelona told them, don't worry, we don't need you to do anything. We got it figured out. Now, Joan Laporta was asked about Vitor Roque, and this is something that I was looking forward to in the press conference. And this is what the Barcelona president had to say about the Brazilian player. Deco told me that we had 4 clubs in addition to Betis who wanted him to go on loan this summer. We think he is young and very good player, and he will prove it at Betis. We hope he shows his great quality. So this is one of the moments that I also thought the press did not do a good job on, pressuring Laporta to give a better answer, because this whole time we still have yet to receive an explanation about what happened with Vitor Roque, because if Vitor Roque is as good of the player that Joan Laporta says he is, then why didn't Barcelona give him more time to adapt? And why didn't Barcelona give him more minutes to play so he can prove that he is as good as Laporta says? And if Vitor Roque is bad, then why did Barcelona spend 30 million on him, and who was responsible for that signing? So I think we still don't have an answer on what the hell happened with Vitor Roque, and I think the press definitely failed in that regard as far as getting more answers from Joan Laporta. Now, the last thing I want to highlight in this press conference was Joan Laporta's discussion of what's going on with Real Madrid. As you know, Real Madrid had joined a Negreira complaint against Barcelona. They've also had this whole long campaign through Real Madrid TV where they're constantly, accusing referees of being unfavorable to them and favorable to Barcelona. So Joan Laporta was asked about the relationship between both clubs, and this is what the Barcelona president had to say. Relations with Real Madrid are bad because they have appeared in the Negreira case. We have many complaints of false statements, around 20. Let them continue doing what they want, and we will also do what we want to do. So I think this was a very good answer by Joan Laporta, because at the end of the day, we cannot be worrying about what Madrid are doing or what other clubs are doing. All we can worry about is about what we are doing and focusing on continue rebuilding our club, continue improving our finances, continue building our footballing project, and continue focusing on winning. And let the haters talk, let Real Madrid do whatever they want. At the end of the day, we cannot control that. So let's not worry about things we can't control. Let's worry about things that we can control, which is our own club and our own sporting project. Anyways, that was all the highlights from the Joan Laporta press conference. That was not all of it. There was more things he talked about, but I thought this was the most important things. I do want to hear your thoughts and opinions. What did you think about Joan Laporta's press conference? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, we'll be uploading another video with news, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Peace, Barça.